I often find myself in strange places. I'm in the middle of the desert right now, looking for something. It's quite funny how that's the one thing that never changes. Wherever I go, it makes any place feel familiar. Searching for something that can never be found. It will never be enough, I'm well aware of it. But then again, the fact that it's an itch that can never be scratched takes you on a lifelong journey filled with meaning. How blessed we are to have something like this in our lives. This particular chapter of my journey took me here, chasing what was looking like the biggest swell of the season. I woke up the day of the swell in a fairly big industrial fishing town in the north of Africa. One of those places in which you'd never find yourself in, if it wasn't for the fact that it's home to what can be, on its day, one of the best waves in the world. A grey morning in this place isn't that common. It could be a sign that the swell was a bit too stormy, one of the main concerns we all had. When we first checked the conditions that morning, it wasn't looking great, but it was supposed to be building throughout the day. People from all over the world were here for the same reason. Everyone had high hopes. As the hours went by, the whole hype for the swell was dying. It looked like it wasn't going to happen. The size was there and building, but the conditions weren't right. After spending the whole day watching in hopes it would improve, and with most of the crowd deciding to give up, I decided to give it a go just for the sake of it. There was hardly anyone out anymore. I didn't even bother paying a filmer for this session. That's how low my hopes were. The clips you're going to see now were filmed by a mate. Oh, and by a webcam. Fuck, probably should have paid a filmer. And just like that, it was over. The swell was gone. What remained of the swell was heading south, so with quite a bit of time in our hands, as our flight back home was in a few days, we decided to see what we could find down there. There's an area that for sure was going to have waves, but everyone and his dog was going to be there, so we went further south. This whole thing we call surfing is quite a funny thing to do, as you really don't spend much time surfing at all. 90% of the time it's about driving, making bad decisions, and just plain out doing fuck all. At the time it can be quite frustrating, as you feel as though you're trying your bloody best and getting nothing in return. Like this day here, we probably drove around 350 kilometers just to find ourselves in the middle of the desert, nearly wrecking our rental car on shit waves. But for some reason when you look back at it, you can't quite remember the frustration you had at the moment. Your mind tricks you into thinking it was the best time ever. It's actually bizarre. This day we look bloody everywhere. I've been doing this long enough to know it was just going to be one of those days. You can kinda tell when it's happened to you more times than you can even count. So after checking a million different places, we decided to take it easy and accept our fate. Should have gone where everyone else went, but everyone's a genius in retrospect. We made a call and it wasn't a good one. Deal with it. And so we did. The next day was honestly quite similar. A whole lot of nothing, so I'll spare you from such a sight. It was then late afternoon. There was time to check one last spot for the day. Like I said before, we like to call this stuff a surf trip, but it's honestly more of a wander and hope you come across something to surf for a bit trip. So I carried on with my wander, this time over these dunes. It's times like these that I often get a strange feeling. I kind of feel the absurdity of it all. We all choose different paths, different things to, in a way, kill our time in this place. Each of them absurd in their own way. We all suffer trying to find meaning to it all. But I can honestly tell you that once you're walking over big mountains of sand with a piece of solidified chemicals under your arm to try and do some weird shit in the ocean, you understand that there is nothing to understand. This is the meaning, that there is none. The meaning is the absurd. When I finally got to the other side, much to my relief, there was actually something going on. At last. With not a lot of time left, you're once again presented with a taste of that which you are searching. You know it's not going to last long, so you do your best to be present for it.
I was born on the south side of the city, in a rundown neighborhood. My daddy was a poor man, but he did the best he could. All my brothers and my sister were living on the welfare man. I had to come up the hard way, because I never had a helping hand. Now this is what I had to do. I start hustling for quarters before I started to school. Then I moved up to the big time, shooting dice and playing pool. A helping hand, a helping hand.
Again, just a little taste. Not enough to be satisfied, but just enough to keep you hooked. All I can say is that it's always a lot of effort for these little glimpses of bliss, but it's definitely worth it.
Now I'm locked in this lonely prison, behind these cold, cold bars of steel. I wish I could start all over, but I know I never will.
Another day in the middle of God knows where. Today is supposed to be the smallest day of our time here, but we still gotta make sure the reports didn't get it wrong, so there was more driving to do. With yesterday's session under our belts, we're not feeling too anxious about scoring today. I mean, we'll take whatever we can get. I don't think the car rental guy would have been too happy about the day we had ahead. Full on dirt road all day long. He actually told me.
Pas des chemins de terre.
Which means no dirt roads. So yeah, that didn't happen. We eventually came across a massive stretch of cliffs that looked promising, so we stopped to check it out. There was hardly anyone around, but as it always happens, the deeper you go into a place, the better interactions you have with the people you do come across.
Okay. Okay, au revoir. Au revoir.
There was a point that looked good, but it was literally miles away with no apparent way to get there. With nothing better to do, we tried to make our way to it. It actually wasn't too bad, as there were plenty of shepherd tracks to use. The swell really had dropped and the tide looked too high, but the spot was promising nevertheless. Having made it all the way down, I decided to go for a dip, even though it was pretty obvious that the wave was about to disappear because of the rising tide. And it did. We timed it wrong, but hey, now we know. It took the effort of getting all the way down here, but how else were we supposed to know? The place definitely looked like it would be worth checking out again, even with such a hike. That evening I checked the forecast and it looked like there was gonna be a little pulse coming in the next day, with a lot of fucking wind. But maybe, just maybe, something could happen at that point. It was a complete shot in the dark, but isn't it all? The next day, we made sure to get down there with the right tide. The wind was pretty crazy and you couldn't tell from far away what was actually going on. You had to get down there and see for yourself. The sea was looking wild that day. For some reason I had high hopes for that place. Once we got down there, it looked like there was some crazy ones coming through. Just one would make it all worth it. Funny enough, one was all I got before the rip got too strong and made it impossible to stay in one place. Once again, a lot of effort just for a couple seconds. One can only feel grateful to have the privilege of doing something like this, and even though it may seem like an empty and pointless pursuit for someone that's a stranger to this world, I can firmly confirm that yes, it is in fact pointless, and that's the whole point. We soaked in the last rays of sun in this corner of the world, a place we would have never experienced if it wasn't for this twisted obsession of ours, and with hope to be able to do this again. Ideally tomorrow, but that's a big ask. All of the music from this video is from MusicBed, a music licensing platform with real music from real artists. Sign up now through the link in the description to get your free trial.